Hi, my name's Bill, and today's story is a true story about a man that was, well, kind of small, very wise, and very rich. Still, he didn't have very many friends, and not too many people liked this person. We're going to find out why in our story called The Story of Zacchaeus. Now, a long time ago, there was a man who was a tax collector. His name was Zacchaeus. Now, the reason that people didn't like Zacchaeus wasn't because he was small, and it wasn't because he was smart, and it wasn't because he was rich. It was because he was dishonest. You see, as a tax collector, what you're supposed to do is collect money from people and use that money for good things. Good tax collectors in our times use the money for paying firefighters and for paying teachers and police officers and librarians and construction workers. But this man, he would tell you that you owed a lot of money, and he'd keep some of that money for himself. And that's how he got rich. And because he was dishonest, a lot of people didn't like Zacchaeus. Well, now one day Jesus came to town, and Zacchaeus was very curious about what Jesus had to say. So he rushed over to where Jesus was going to speak, and he waited for Jesus to show up. But as other people came and saw Zacchaeus, they started standing in front of him. Now remember, Zacchaeus was kind of a short man, and because of that, Zacchaeus couldn't see over their heads. And so he got a great idea. He climbed a tree, and up from that tree, he was able to look down and see Jesus, and he was able to hear every word that Jesus said. Now Zacchaeus listened very carefully to Jesus' words, and when Jesus was through speaking, Jesus did something very unusual. He looked up into the tree and he said, "Hey, Zacchaeus, come on out of that tree. I'm going to eat with you today." Zacchaeus looked around and he was the only Zacchaeus there. Jesus must have been talking about him. And so he jumped out of the tree and he ran as quickly as he could back to his home to get it ready for Jesus. Meanwhile, all the people around Jesus said, "Jesus, why in the world are you talking to that man? Don't you know that he's a dishonest tax collector?" And Jesus said, "Yes, I know he's made some big mistakes, but he's not too old to learn how to do things right. I'm here to help people like Zacchaeus." And so that day, Jesus and Zacchaeus ate together. And after they were through, Zacchaeus said, "You know, Jesus, I have something I need to tell you. Well, I've been stealing money from people. You see, I'm a tax collector, and I've been telling people they owe more money than they really do, and I've been taking that extra money for myself." And Jesus said, "Oh, what are you going to do about it?" Zacchaeus thought for a while, and he said, "You know what I'm going to do, Jesus? I'm going to give back all the money that I took from people. No, better than that. I'm going to give them back more money than I took." And Jesus said, "Zacchaeus, that's a really wise decision." So that's exactly what Zacchaeus did. He went to all the people that he stole money from, and he gave them even more money back. And from that time on, he tried to do what was right. He didn't steal anymore. He tried to treat people in a way that was honest. You know, Jesus wants you and I to be honest too. He wants us to tell the truth, and he wants us to do things that we know are right. Because when we do that, we're being just like Jesus. Well, it's time for me to go, but I'll be back again with another true Bible story. So until then, bye-bye.